Have you ever stood in the dairy aisle of your local grocery store, staring at a carton of white eggs and a carton of brown eggs, wondering what is actually the difference? The brown ones usually cost a little more, they look a bit more rustic, a bit more natural, and because of that, millions of us quietly assume they must be healthier. Maybe they'd have more protein, better yolks, stronger shells. But what if I told you that the real difference between a white egg and a brown egg has absolutely nothing to do with nutrition and everything to do with a chicken's earlobes? Welcome to Simple Things Surprising Histories. Today we are cracking open one of the most common supermarket myths in the world, the real story behind brown and white eggs. Let's start with the most surprising fact. The color of an egg is entirely dictated by the genetics of the chicken that laid it. It has absolutely nothing to do with whether the chicken is free-range, organic, or cage-free. It all comes down to the breed. Here is a fascinating rule of thumb you can use if you ever visit a farm. If a chicken has white feathers and white earlobes, yes, chickens actually have earlobes, it will almost always lay white eggs. The most common breed for this is the white Leghorn, which is the absolute superstar of the commercial egg industry. On the other hand, if a chicken has red or brown feathers and red earlobes, like the famous Rhode Island Red, it will lay brown eggs. It's a pure genetic blueprint. In fact, there are even certain breeds, like the Araucana, that have different genetics and lay beautiful pale blue or green eggs. But whether white, brown, or blue, the color is just the outside packaging. But how does that packaging actually get its color? This brings us to a beautiful hidden piece of biology. Creating an egg takes a hen about 26 hours. For the first 20 hours or so, the shell is being built inside the chicken using calcium carbonate. Here's the secret. At this stage of development, every single commercial egg is white. All of them. It isn't until the very last couple of hours, right before the egg is laid, that the brown chickens apply a special paint. The hen's body produces a natural pigment called protoporphyrin 9. This pigment is secreted and essentially dyed onto the outside of the shell. If you don't believe me, try this experiment at home. Next time you crack open a brown egg, look closely at the inside of the shell. You'll see that it's perfectly white. The brown is just a surface-level spray tan applied at the very end of the factory line. So if they're identical on the inside, why do brown eggs almost always cost more at the grocery store? It's easy to blame greedy marketers who know we associate the color brown with healthier things, like whole wheat bread or brown rice. But the real answer is basic economics. The breeds of chickens that lay brown eggs are physically larger, heavier birds than the white egg-laying Leghorns. Because they're bigger, they require more food, more space, and more energy to maintain. The farmer has to spend significantly more money on chicken feed to get a brown egg than a white egg. That extra cost of production is simply passed on to you at the checkout counter. Nutritionally, a brown egg and a white egg are exactly the same. The only thing that changes the vitamins, the omega-3s, or the richness of the yolk is the chicken's diet, not the color of its feathers. So, the next time you're standing in the supermarket, you can shop with confidence. If you want a healthier egg, look at what the chickens were fed, not the color of the shell. Brown or white, it's just a simple trick of genetics and a fascinating reminder of the complex biology sitting right inside your refrigerator. Thank you for watching this episode of Simple Things Surprising Histories. If you learned something new today, please hit that like button, share this video with a friend who always insists on buying the expensive eggs, and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating histories of our everyday world. See you next time.